Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and I'm using my Logitech webcam for recording this now because it's working again most of the time, and that's good. But what we're going to do today is we're going to finish up the Indicol, the Redneck made Indicol, and at the end we'll have a little review of what I think was good about it and what I did wrong, and that sort of thing. And of course, I'm not going to be real critical of me because that's perfect design. It's hard for me to do wrong. Yeah. Anyway, it's been sort of a long project, and I haven't even finished processing all the video from part 4 here. I hadn't put it through the editor yet. So I was looking at how much I had, and it made me worry that I was going to have a part 4A and part 4B. I don't know. And I hadn't recorded the joke yet, so I'm going to have to do that too. So hopefully part 4 will be a good video. Let's just get right on to the stuff. Alright, it's about as close as it's going to focus. You got to put a little center punch mark here, and that's where we're going to thread the thing. Go a hole for the screw and thread it right there. And that looks approximately on the center. I'm not as good as Mr. Pete at getting dead on the center of the marks, but it's close enough. After all, I don't have any tolerance for this. It's what you call an easy project. Alright, here we go. Still running slow for that hole saw. What I've got to do is move the belt so it won't be running slow for the hole saw. I'll bring you back. This thing's going to require a great deal of cleaning up before the final assembly, but you have to screw this thing in. You have to screw this thing in from the inside, and I'm a little bit too long to make it start, which I figured I would be because I used a lot of thread there just to make sure I didn't come up too short. So I guess I should cut off, probably a good ½ an inch, 3/4 of an inch of this thing. So let me do that, and then we'll start up again. Alright, I've cut this little booger off, and it's pudding time. Get a taste and see if it's going to work. That looks to me like it's going to work. I got to clean some of the chips out of there. There. I'm not quite as good as an air hose, but I have been told I was full of hot air, so maybe that'll clean it out good enough. There's still chips in there. I can see them. You might can see them too, rolling around. That's discouraging. Those chips are like glued down or something. Yeah. That tastes awful. Yeah, I know. I could have turned on my air compressor, but I didn't want to hear it making noise. So there we go. Now we got the chips out. And I'll bring this up and see. I may have to cut a little off that little shelf there. I don't know. Yes, no, I don't. I think we're up there. Alright, so let me walk over there to the machine in question. I'll see if it clips on. Alright, this will work. So now I've got to take this out of here, drill and tap this in for the little rod to hold things, and I'm going to put a rod in here also. Some threads going in this way and some threads going in this way so that I can have my choice of ways to hold an indicator. Alright, I managed to get it pretty well on the scribe marks. Of course, remember, I didn't set myself any tolerances, so I'm within tolerance regardless, even if it was a quarter of an inch off. Or works like a hinge. But I don't think I want to go clean through with the thing, because I don't see anything for me to gain with that. So I'm just going to put a thread in there, and then I'm going to thread one through from the side, and we're going to be in business. I'm not sure it'll be useful, but I'm going to thread this one all the way through. Came out the other side just a tiny bit, so I'm going to have to finish it up with a wrench, you know, tap wrench. You don't need to bother watching that. Well, it's time now to get on the belt grinder and beauty size this thing, you know. Glamorize it, fix it up, smooth it up. You know what I'm talking about. Things are starting to round off, but it'll take a while. But you've got the idea. Alright, so there's the redneck Indicol, or imitation Indicol, clamped on. Holds on. When I put the little rods on it to hold an indicator, it'll do the job. There you are. Stays on there pretty good. Nice and tight. I didn't have any rods yet to make the indicator holders out of. There has to be about 3/8 or maybe less than, I think, the 0.312, something like that, to hold the stereo indicators. And I don't have anything on hand right now. I thought I did, but I don't. So that'll be next. Put a rod in here to hold an indicator. Rod coming down this way to hold an indicator, or just move the same one around. That's probably a lot more reasonable. There you are. It's pretty well done. Alright, so I need something to hold the indicator, so there's something to hold the indicator, and I'm going to take this little device that I made, I don't know, maybe last year, and I'm going to use it to thread this thing 1/4-20, which is a size that's pretty common and easy to find. Now this is 5/16, this rod is, and the reason for that is because I measured the rods that were in a Starrett package there, with one of those with the plunger back in it, and they were 5/16. So I figure if it's good enough for Starrett, it's good enough for me. It looks pretty good. I'm going to turn the die around and run it up from the wrong end so that I can get the threads even closer to that spot there. Or I could, well, I'm going to run it up closer and then I'm going to make a little relief there. So I'll get the best of both worlds. I'll bring you guys back when I get through. Well, let's just make a little thread relief here and that'll make it fit perfect, I think, maybe. Oh, gotta get it out of the back here. Glad the belts are loose. Screw down all the way to the flat spot, and I'm going to shine it up here with, I'm going to shine this thing up with some emery cloth, but I'm going to cover my ways with a paper towel. I notice a lot of people, they go to run an emery cloth over something, they'll have their ways totally uncovered, unprotected, and there's got to be a lot of grit falling down on those ways, a lot of hard abrasive grit, and I just, you know, I look at it and I think, wait, why are you so careful about all the oiling and all the other things, and then you put all this grit right out there on the ways of your lathe, you know? It's always amazing to me. All right, there's no use you watching me polish this up with a piece of emery cloth. Is that absolutely wonderful or what? Look how nice and round that made that end. I could step up to one larger and make it rounder. I think I will. This is just a little bit larger, so it should go further over. I think I need to rub that with a Lipton mill and we'll be in business. And this is my favorite Lipton mill right here. Do is follow the profile that cutter made. So I think as of now this thing's officially finished. We'll put things together and have a little review of it. You can't be a redneck without duct tape. It's in the Redneck's Prime Directive. Alright, so here we are. We've got the guy, he's painted a nice pretty red. We got this guy here, which has never been screwed in, but we're going to screw it in. I'm not going to screw him up real tight right now because I don't mess up the paint too much. But we're going to mount an indicator on that when it's on, you know, on the column. We can mount it there, or we can take this guy loose and mount it over here. Okay, this hang down and maybe be even more useful than the one through here. Now the original factory job's got an extra piece to hook onto here to change the directions, you know, so that when it comes out of the end here you come over and down, and that's good. And you know, I got some extra pieces in my indicator set. What would I have done different if I did this over again? Well, one of the things that I would do, I wound up probably more than 1 3/4 diameter on this circle, and I needed only 1.6 something thousandths, you know, an inch and and 600 something thousands to fit my column. Number two thing I would have done is I would, darn it, drop my scribe. I was going to use it for a pointer. Alright, we'll use something else for a pointer. I could either have moved this over about one diameter this way, or better still, I could have angled it like this. That would have made a much tighter, easier fit. This guy wouldn't even have had to swivel any. So if I ever make another one of these, I will be angled over like this on the screw. This will come out a little further and I'll angle it over, and we'll be absolutely guaranteed to have a flat on the column, good bite. Now this took me, I guess, a couple of days to make, you know, and you would ask yourself, well, was it worth it? Well, I can go on Amazon and get an imitation Indicol for 35 bucks. It happens to be just about the right size for my machine. It's actually an 1 7/8", which is a little bit larger than my column, but for 35 bucks it's already factory made and factory pretty and all that sort of thing. So before you make one for yourself, think about it. Do you want to do it for the making, or do you want to do it to save money? Because you're really not. This is probably $7 or $8 worth of aluminum that I cut that out of, and so on. Brass is probably several dollars, and economically wise, it's not worth doing. Fun wise, yep, get in there and make it for yourself, and you'll have that accomplishment right there to look at. Alright? We'll go and see if there's a Bubba joke. I've got stuff from Pierre, I got stuff from Kurt Cook. I'll have to go and dig through there and decide who's going to tell the joke. What is that? That looks just like a couple of 6-foot pieces of 80-20. Yeah, it does. That showed up here just a few days ago. I'll have to get busy with that very shortly. So, Ole and Lena were sitting around talking, and you know how women are about feelings. They want to discuss feelings all the time. And so Lena comes up with a question. She says, Ole, would you remarry if I died? And Ole says, oh, well, I might. Then she says, would you give her my fur coat? Ole says, well, he says, yeah, to keep the moths from eating it, yeah. And he says, well, what about my little red convertible? Well, he says, yeah. He says, the engine will go bad if I leave it sitting. She says, well, what about my golf clubs? Well, he says, oh, no, that's out of the question. And he says, yeah, and why not? Well, he says, she's left-handed. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.